So my question to that is, when have you ever seen, or have you seen some examples in your life or even community where male leadership or lack of it directly affects women's choices or standards?
Oh man, I can give you plenty of examples, man.
Okay.
In our family, in our neighborhood, in our community. Growing up, I'm pretty old, so I've got a great, vast knowledge of experience that I can draw from. And as a little boy, one thing that I noticed is that when the men wore suits, the women wanted to compliment them. They wanted to dress and look as well because they don't want their man to look better than them. You see what I'm saying? So guys would shine their shoes up, make sure they had a crease in the pants, make sure the suit was clean. You know what I mean? That type of thing, make sure they smell good. They had a certain vernacular. If you remember back in the day, guys had a vocabulary on them, When they used to talk, they used to be like, come in there, come in, baby, let me rap a taste to you. You know what I'm saying? And they would be able to hold a conversation with the regular everyday man in the barbershop and turn right around and get in the pulpit and articulate why you should be a better person. Those same people would also go down to City Hall and talk to people who don't look like them and still have a conversation. So the ability to go from walking with the common man to also walking with the kings is still a need that needs to be addressed. And we should be flexible enough to do that. You know what I mean? Because each area you should be proficient in. And then the best way for you to do that is to spend a lot of time in each one. So what happens is when you're called upon to be a leader, you can actually express what you heard from the common everyday man and explain that to the ones in charge and say, hey, look, this is what they mean. And it helps you become a better leader. And when you become a better leader, then people trust you more. And we already know that both relationships work best when trust is at the forefront, when trust is the cornerstone. And the only way for you to do trust is to be able to listen, to be a better listener, and to articulate what you heard to somebody else who doesn't understand.
Mhm. That's good. So you're saying that if I know you at the last part, you said if I enough, listen well, then I should be able to articulate well to say, listen, this is what I heard you say. And from what it is that I heard you say, this is what I need to be doing in order to make sure that we don't cross this situation again or we improve from this situation. Then I also heard you before when you said in the beginning where if men would, for example, change their dress code, if it was a mandate that men in the men code, right, that we make sure that we dress well, then based upon us dressing well, then women would change how they dress. And that means that there will be, it sounds like you're saying that men, if you change your action, she'll change her action. And that's a part of the raising the bar in which you're talking about. Is that right? And did I
Absolutely.
listen well and articulate that better?
Absolutely correct. That is perfect. And I'm
Yes,
going
sir.
to tell you the reason why is because people want to be around winners.
Hmm.
And the question is, how do winners stand out?
That's a great
They carry
question.
themselves. Yeah.
How do, how do winners stand out? So what is a man look like who's winning?
Someone who I put it to like someone who's able to listen to other people and not get bothered by what they say.
Really?
Someone who can actually take their ego, move it to the side, and say, hey, let me listen to your problem.
Mm,
Let's solve this together. In your mind, what does success look like? Because you're helping them solve their own problem. You're not solving it for them.
mm.
It's a teamwork thing. And in order for that to work, you need to be able to listen to what they're saying and gain clarity. And you also need to know what success looks like to that person. Think about it. There's no worse feeling than you to go out and do something for somebody else and you think you did it the right way. And they were like, no, that ain't what I'm talking about. That's a waste of your time and their expectations.
That happened with my kid.
Think about it.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, do you think women lower their standards when men don't lead well,
I
and
think
why?
they do. I think they do. And I'm gonna tell you why they do that. It's for security. It's for security. It's better to have something than to have nothing at all.
It's better to have something than
Than to
nothing else.
have nothing at all.
We're talking about relationships, though.
Yeah. Think
Marriage.
about it. A lot of women settle, man, because they couldn't get or they think they couldn't deserve or get the person they really wanted. Really.
Or what could it be that the person that they really wanted was not actually the person that they needed?
You're right.
Is
You're
that
right.
possible?
Yeah. A lot of people miss their calling, man. Think about it like this, HD. When we had these conversations, most people all in their mind, they have this idea of what the successful man looks like. It's the guy with the three-piece suit, the CEO, the guy that's making 6, 7 figures. They can point to that guy and say that guy's a success. Okay.
All right.
Well, the thing about it is there's success along the way, from the top all the way down to the bottom. There's success in between. And the thing about it is nobody understands that there's success needed at each and every level. You know, don't you think the garbage man needs a good wife? Just
Yes.
like the CEO
Right.
needs a good wife, you know? There's a lot of guys in between who needs good wives and who's good parents, because that is the infrastructure that holds up our society. We can't put too much weight on one end and not on the other. It'll break. Think about it. If we concentrated more on hood culture, then we would have a culture of people who don't have moral standards or any type of moral direction, who can build anything. Anybody can't come to them for anything at all. It becomes a nuisance.
Hmm.
Then on top of that, if you go to another end, the other end of the spectrum, if everybody is a CEO, then how is stuff going to get fixed? No plumbing, no electrical, no arts, no humanity, nothing that actually pushes us forward to be the best versions of ourselves. So that's the reason why we have to make sure that we understand that there's a healthy understanding of where winning lies. There's winning lying between one end and the other. The thing about it is people have to understand it. You have to pick a place. And a lot of people have been missing each other because they've been misplaced, because they think they should be somewhere else when they should be somewhere else.
Wow. Okay. So, well, if I'm hearing this correctly, we haven't, because I'm thinking that men need to, like you said, educate themselves, and it doesn't mean that it's in the school, but reading, getting around other men that are seeking productivity or are being productive, men who hold each other accountable. You want to have a peer group that is moving in a direction that's going to be helpful to the community. And so if but at the same time, that doesn't always mean that that's going to be the person that makes a lot of money or that
Correct.
has a lot of status,
Correct.
right? That could be anybody that is moving in a productive manner to make sure that their home is doing well, outside their home is doing well, and even further on. That reminds me of the scripture where it talks about, well, you need to. He wants us to disciple individuals, but he also wants us to take care of our where we are in at that time, and then he wants us to branch out to even other parts and even to the edges of the world, right?
Right.
So I think so. My question to you then is, why do you believe? I don't know if you believe it. I think I do. So why do you but why do you think why do you believe that women are not, they only want a certain part of the man, which is the financial aspect, as opposed to, let me see if this such and such worker, blue collar worker, has good character, good morals, integrity, and that he will be faithful and take care of you in all the aspects that you want to. But the first initial seems to be, uh, survival is based upon the finances and not the the parts that the men can definitely change right now?
It depends on each person is different.